Can I get to the serious question to start off here, Aaron? Good morning, by the way.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, good morning, Dan. Thanks for having me back on, buddy.
Do you shovel your own snow?
Sometimes, yes. Sometimes you have to. I've done that many times. I got my truck stuck over the years. The issue is when the plows come through the streets, they can throw a bunch of snow in your driveway. And if you got a truck and you feel like you can four-wheel drive over that snow, sometimes you get stuck. So got my truck stuck a couple times, and definitely been out there shoveling the front driveway multiple times before the crews get over to help you out.
Do you? Wow, this is breaking news.
A lot of doubters.
All right.
Yeah, there are a lot of doubters. Now, I didn't know if you'd have a snowblower. The consensus with the Danettes was you have a snowblower.
I don't.
Okay, there you go, guys.
No, I never had one. I should. I'd watch my neighbors snow blowing their driveway and thought that looked so much easier than
they don't volunteer to help you?
No, I will give credit. My neighbor across the street at my old house, he would help me out.
All right, that's all we wanted to know, Aaron.
Okay. Thanks for having me on, Dan.
How surprised are you with what's happened here in the last 6 weeks, 8 weeks, with just overall performance and your individual performance?
I wouldn't say surprised. I'm really happy about the way that we responded after a really tough stretch in the middle of the season. But no, I'm not surprised. I always believe in myself and my teammates. And although when you say something like run the table, you're taking a leap of faith because you're obviously in a rut at the time. But I just believe that if we could get that first one, things get going, and who knows how long we could stay on the run.
How did you get into a rut?
Well, I wasn't playing great, and we weren't playing complete games as a team in all three phases. And when you put those two together, you're not going to win a whole lot of games in this league. So we lost a couple tight ones. We got blown out, a couple times as well. So we kind of went back in the locker room and just started communicating a little better with our teammates and just kind of bought in again and refocused and got things going.
But something had to click where it just felt like it was the way it was supposed to be to start this season. Was there a moment where you just said, or a game where you just said, okay, this is who we are?
Well, offensively, it was the Washington game, which was the end of the 4-game losing streak. I just felt like our offense was finally getting to a place where we could be dangerous. Jared Cook came back, had a big game that night, and we started to look more like what we thought we were going to look early in the season. We responded the next week in Philly and had a very nice offensive performance, and that started the run for us. But we felt offensively that we could take some pressure off the defense if we started a little bit faster. We were starting really slow. Washington game, 3 and outs to start the game, and the Tennessee game, we're down 21-0. Didn't help our defense out. And we felt if we just started a little bit faster, it's going to give our defense confidence that they don't have to, get a stop every single possession because our offense is going to pick them up.
And then you start slow against the Giants. What are you thinking when you're looking at this and it's 3 and out, and all of a sudden the Giants have a chance to open this up a little bit?
I'm thinking it can't get any worse on offense, for sure. I mean, that was about as bad as it could go there early on. But they got a great defense. The key for us was our own defense. I mean, we got stops. We held them to field goals in the red zone. If it's 14-0 there instead of 6-0, it's a whole different ball game. But 6-0, we're a touchdown away from retaking the lead, and obviously change the momentum. And then we get a big stop when they're backed up. A nice punt return, and next thing you know, we're on the 38-yard line going in. Get a touchdown there. We're up by 1, and hit a Hail Mary. Next thing you know, we're up a couple scores and pulling away.
Can you teach your style? Could you teach your style to somebody?
I think so. I think if you look at some of my backups over the years and the way that they adapt and change their mechanics and fundamentals slightly with their drops and their arm angles and their movements, I think you see some similarities for sure. But the great thing about this game is everybody has their own style and can do it in their own way. But mine's obviously a little unique and different than the next guys.
But when you were coming out of college, People weren't sure if you'd be the number one pick or not, and of course you weren't. But what were they missing when they were assessing your talents that we now look at it and say, you're a Hall of Fame quarterback? What was absent there?
I think that it's the things that you can't measure with with the tape measure or get a specific number for, as in height and weight and 40 time and Wonderlic score and these things. You can't measure the mental and physical toughness. You can't measure, you can't really get a feel for how memorization and visualization and preparation can put a player in a position to be prepared on Sunday to go out and execute and dominate. You can look at film and try and project and talk about ball carriage and footwork and those fundamentals, but you can't project how a person deals with adversity, and once they start to become a starter, how they deal with frustration, how they deal with critics, how they deal with all the things that come at a quarterback, how they can lead in a locker room when things are going great and when things are going rough. And those are things that I've always felt like have allowed me to separate from some of my peers.
He's Aaron Rodgers. He's got the Cowboys coming up on Sunday. Jordy Nelson's status, what do you know now?
I just know what everybody else knows. I saw him last night for a little bit. He's in some pain, but he's going to be around this week and see how it feels later in the week and then make a decision at that point.
Can you wear protective padding there that would allow him to play?
We were talking last night. I think he brought up when Vic got his ribs banged up and he was wearing some sort of Kevlar vest that allowed him to play. So I know there's stuff out there. I'm sure that the team is looking into that, or people are sending it on their own methods. I remember when I hurt my calf or various injuries I've had over the years. Our fan base is pretty incredible when it comes to their abilities to treat injuries. They all have their own ideas about what specific types of medicine or remedies.
You got a home medicine, home remedies there by the Packer fans?
Yeah, they got their own stuff out there, so it's pretty amazing.
What is the play called on the Hail Mary, the actual play?
It's called a rebound pass.
That's it?
Yeah.
So you go into the huddle and you go rebound a pass on two?
Yeah, I don't know if I think we didn't go on two on that one, but
okay.
But yeah.
That's it. How often do you practice that, and how do you practice that?
Well, we do that in a drill, usually on a Saturday practice or the end of a Thursday practice, and it's against the defense. It's slightly competitive. We're not trying to get anybody to jump on anybody's ankles or hurt anybody in the end zone, but we more work on the mechanics of getting to a spot where you can get the ball out, and then how we want guys platooned in the end zone and what their responsibilities are. It played out exactly how you practice it. You got a jumper, you got a guy in front, and you got a guy behind, and Randall was aware enough to make a play on it. On both the ones that we've scored on, minus the Janice one. We had Devontae in there, kind of mixing things up. The first time, he kind of set the depth a little deep in Detroit, and Rich was able to kind of mosey down in there and make the play, as everybody kind of misjudged the ball. And it's kind of the same thing here, as the kind of the pack, if you will, was kind of between 3 and 7 yards deep, and Randall was able to sneak back in there in the back of the end zone. So the tough thing, I think, for both the offense and the defense at times is with the trajectory of the football, it does make it hard to judge sometimes when where that ball is coming down.
But you also keep it in play. I find so many of these guys who throw a pass and then they don't keep it in bounds. At least you're throwing it up and down the chimney, and your guy has a chance to make the play. And it's far tougher to try to bat a ball down, I think, when it's coming straight down as opposed to a little bit more on an angle.
That's exactly why we do it, buddy.
Well, that's just me.
Down the chimney. That's a good term there, Dan. That's exactly how we say it, actually.
Oh, you do?
There you go.
Yeah? Well,
we do.
Yeah. Well, I played quarterback my freshman year in high school, so I think we have something in common.
We do.
Yeah. Did you watch the football game last night?
I did. That was fantastic. Absolutely fantastic.
But what do you watch? Can you just watch as a fan and just, sit there and have a beer and popcorn and watch it like anybody else?
For sure, but I'm always interested in quarterback play, and the kid from Alabama had a couple great drives there late in the game, but Deshaun Watson is an electric player, and he's got such a great story. He has played phenomenal in both the national championship games. What a player! Fun to watch that guy, and great way to go out there with a touchdown with the second left and a great drive and win a national championship.
It feels like they hit harder in college than they do the pros.
Does it? How come?
It feels like they give them more freedom to hit harder and less calls, and they were hitting him up high. They were hitting him in the head. Early. Alabama was just bringing, everything to anyone who had a ball. And it feels like you can do more in college than you can in pros. I don't know. Maybe it was just the game last night. That was a pretty violent game last night.
I would I would only disagree with you on this point that, I don't know how you feel about it, but the targeting rule to me is a little out of balance right now.
Do you like it?
The punishment doesn't seem like it fits the penalty. To kick a guy out of the game for a hit, we're making it tough on defenders with target areas, and for college, to kick a guy out on a play that's it's a judgment call on whether or not he intended or didn't intend to, and I think it needs to be a little more subjective ultimately, because if a receiver at the last minute ducks and the target was the chest, the guy's going to get hit in the head, and then that player's out of the game. And if it happens in the second half, then he's out of that game and then out of the first half of the next game. I think that's way too big of a penalty for a guy who may or may not have been trying to target a player. And the way that these coaches are coaching them, I would tend to lean that he's not intentionally trying to target a guy in the head or neck area, but a receiver may flinch or duck or move at the last second, and a hit that's in a normal target area turns into be a hit to the head. So, but I felt like the reffing last night was very solid, because there were some shots to the head or neck area, but they weren't defensive players.
Do you have a problem if the NFL brought in targeting?
If they kicked the guy out of the game, I think that'd be ridiculous. Just keep it the way it is. I mean, we get fined.
Yeah.
I don't, but people get fined for those types of hits. So that's a big deterrent.
Have you ever been fined?
Oh man, no, I haven't. Still waiting on my first one.
We came up. We made a shirt out of what you said with, that you said to relax. We're thinking of a new shirt this year for the playoffs. Shovel your own snow, and it's just we'll do it in Packer colors. Do I have permission? Do I have sign off on? And we can share all the money, charity. Shovel your own snow. What do you think?
Yeah, I love it. Dan. What are you gonna put on the front picture?
Maybe like a silhouette of you shoveling.
Yeah. Don't put any gloves on, because there's multiple times I'd be out there and I didn't have gloves. And that was my acclimation to the cold weather. That's how I've played well over the years in cold weather.
You're a badass, man. Yeah. No gloves. Hey, congrats. Good luck in Dallas. Thanks for joining us, Aaron.
All right, Dan. Thanks, buddy.
All right. That's Aaron Rodgers, Packers quarterback.
The Dan Patrick Show, weekday mornings on Audience.